I guess I want to start with this question. How many of us still spend any amount of time thinking about the road not taken? Two hands. It is a pastime that some of us get stuck in sometimes. God, I could have done this, I could have done that. What if I had done this? What if I had done that? It's so easy to get lost in that. And this song is, Jason Robert Brown, who's an amazing composer. What a great perception. I had love, but I wanted money. I had this, but no, I still have that vision of what I want. We box ourselves in with these visions. This is how I see my life, and I will say no to everything other than what fills this. And then perhaps we get it, and we live it, and then all of a sudden, it's not actually what I thought it was. I had that experience on Broadway, to be honest, when I got my first big Broadway show, and I didn't enjoy it. And that really kind of broke me at the time. I was like, wait a minute. I planned my entire life to star in a Broadway show, and here you are, and you're like really not grooving with this. And it really did break me for a while. I mean, I was like, so what now? And what I realized was I had an image of what that meant. I wanted to be a Broadway star. I was less interested in doing the work, singing, dancing. I was less interested in what it is you do to get that. I wanted that. So when I got that and I was there, I was like Peggy Lee, is that all there is? But then it shifted, and then it changed. And actually it changed with my very next show when I was doing a beautiful musical, and I loved it. I loved singing, I loved dancing. I went, oh, this is what I love. Not that. I want the moon. And I sure as hell was not going to be the person who got to the end of my life and said, I never had the moon. I'll never have the moon. Such a beautiful, beautiful song, and you do it. Does she not do that so exquisitely? Oh. So, I heard recently this quote, the reason you can't make a decision is because you want it all. The reason you can't make a decision about this is because you want it all. So because you want it all, you can't decide on just this. To which in my mind I'm thinking, well, I do want it all, but I don't want it all. I actually am all. Therefore, it all exists right where I am. Now I just get to decide as I go, are you going to go eat everything there is to eat in the universe? Or are you going to just decide? Some days you want steak, some days you want salad. Most days you want steak, some days you want salad. No, can you have it all? And really, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. How many of you would like to have it all? Raise your hands. Okay. Some of you don't want to have it all. Eric, why don't you want to have it all? Yell it out. I'll repeat it to them.
Too much.
It's too much. Okay. Who else feels like that would be too much? You have one other person. Okay. Two other people. Okay. So, and yet, too much for what? Too much to handle? But you're bigger than that. You are the all. And see, this is the thing. This paradigm shift that we're all in the process of making is the process of understanding that as the all, I already have it all. Now, what do I choose to put my attention on? What do I choose to materialize in my life? But that's a very different perspective, isn't it? I have everything I could ever possibly want already exists right here in my being. Now what it'll be. So, I have a quote by Dr. Joyce Brothers, and she says this: the secret to having it all is loving it all. So one of our vision statements, love only. The secret to having it all, the secret to attraction, the secret to prosperity, the secret to success is your ability to love it all. No, a little Tom Costa in there, no matter what. Now, I'm not saying we all walk around looking at things and saying, oh, I love that. No, that's not what I'm saying. We don't stick our heads in the sand and say, it's all good, it's all God, no matter what's happening. No. But can you find the compassion, the love in your heart to understand that whatever is happening is unfolding for your highest and best, no matter what? That's the challenge. So the secret to having it all, and by the way, you do have it all, we all have it all, but the secret to living from that consciousness is being willing to clear your mind with all the pejoratives, clear your mind of the regret, clear your mind of the coulda, woulda, shouldas. Love all of it. Love every choice you make. Has anyone here made a choice in their life that they're maybe embarrassed about? Every hand should go up. And if you have lived a life without ever being embarrassed, you have not lived. It's truth. So, yes, of course. Now, can I love that? Can I look back and go, you know what? That was okay. I have to. Because if I don't, what am I saying? That was a mistake. Ernest Holmes says there are no mistakes. You have never made a mistake. None have been made, none will be made, and none have been made, none are being made, and none will be made. They're not mistakes. They're choices. You may have had another choice that you might have wanted to choose instead, but still not a mistake. It's the choice I made for whatever reason I made it, and therefore it has unfolded me in some way. If I don't go there, if I stick and live a life such as, I could have done this, I could have done that, I could have done this, and now I'll never have that again. First of all, it's never too late for anything to happen in your life. So, getting back to our theme of inspired, when you are inspired, you are in a state of love only. Now think about that. When you have felt, how many of you have ever felt yourself just be inspired? Just felt that feeling? Yeah, we all have. That feeling of being inspired. When you are in the consciousness of inspired, in the spirit of knowing who you are, you're loving. It's a loving energy. You can't think of anything else. When you're truly inspired, you are filled to the brim with love. Love only. So, Vincent van Gogh said this: I dream of painting, and then I paint my dream. Well, if that's Vincent van Gogh's, by the way, I'm wearing his socks. If that's Vincent van Gogh's concept, I dream of painting, and then I paint my dream, it would mean that we all have to be open vessels to allow the dream to fill us, to allow the inspiration to fill us up. And then it's our job. You see, I'm standing a lot on my toes today. I must want to be taller. And then we have to be willing to take whatever fills us up and take the next steps. Be willing to be inspired this way. So, my question is, what inspires you? Not who inspires you. We all have people that inspire us, but what inspires you? What in your life really, when we did our meditation, that to me, that inspires me. Friday night, when David Flint played his bowls and his flute, and when Reverend Dale walked through this whole sanctuary with her rain stick, very slowly, and everybody heard there was raindrops fall. It was just, on Friday evenings, we do it the second Friday of every month. Something happens. How many were here? Yes. Something happens. There's just something. You go through the hour and you're like walking on a cloud. That inspires me. But was it the bowls? Was it the flute? Was it the rain stick? Was it my guitar? Or was it something in me that's already there that these tools unleash? So when I say what inspires you, it may be, Deb, a walk in the park, right? It may be going to the beach. What inspires you? Our job, our responsibility, if you would, is to fill that up, make those decisions. So the title of my talk today is, What Do You Have? It's based on a waitress at a restaurant coming up to you and saying, what do you have? Now, when you go to a restaurant, I assume you choose the restaurant mostly because you know what they have, yes? Don't you usually? Unless someone takes you somewhere. But usually you go to a restaurant because you know what's there. And the waitress will say, what do you have? And you're looking at a menu, and you're choosing from the menu. Better title for my talk could also be, do you know what store you're in? Or do you know what restaurant you're in? I always talk about this woman that I literally saw arguing with the guy at the Ace Hardware that they didn't carry milk. This is a true story. I forget what state I was in. And I just remember thinking, why would you go to Ace Hardware to buy milk unless you just want to be disappointed? Or that you have controlling issues and you now want Ace Hardware to carry milk. But you know what? It happens to a lot of us. We keep saying, I want this, but you're not equal to it. You haven't created the store consciousness to have that in store right now. And here's the deal. I would like you all to leave here today knowing that you have it all, that you're coming from that perspective, that you are coming from the perspective of understanding, I already have everything. Now it's just a matter of, what do you have? I have all of it, so what do you want to live? What part of your life do you want to live? You want to live gratitude? You want to live success? You want to live crazy? How many people want to live crazy? I knew you'd raise your hand. Yes. So I like to call it the universal Costco. When I first went to Costco, I hated it. Kevin loved it. And I would want to get in and get out. And he's like, look at this aisle. And I was just like, oh, it's too big. I was like you, Eric. It was like, there's too many things, and we will never use that much ketchup. Anybody? Those bottles of ketchup, it's ridiculous. And I was like, it's just too big. It's just too big. Now, I can get lost in Costco. Nothing is too big. Plus, they've learned, and now they sell big things of little things of ketchup. So you just use what you need. But if we are living in a universal Costco, meaning everything you could possibly ever need is in that store called your consciousness. Your mind is the universal Costco. And guess what? You don't even have to pay a membership. You already have a lifetime membership at the Universal Costco. And you get tons of discounts. In fact, most of it's free. You just have to be equal to it in consciousness. Because if you're not, if your minds aren't thinking and up to the level of what it is you wish to desire, oh my God, they overcharge terribly. It costs you a fortune to buy success when you think it's a problem. Or it costs you a fortune to get your body trim when all you tell yourself is that you're out of shape. Because that's what you're equal to. You're equal to out of shape. So when you go to the aisle to buy perfect, gorgeous body, I don't know, they all look like that? Perfect, gorgeous body, it costs you a fortune. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. This one's going to cost a lot. Whereas, if you actually had and you were equal to that perfect, healthy, vibrant body, free. It's absolutely, we're giving those away today to certain customers, certain people. You have to be equal to what we're giving away for free. So, Ernest Holmes said this, and I said this morning on CPR. For those of you taking CPR, you get to see it again. I identify myself with abundance, health, and happiness. I associate myself with the vast all I identify myself with everything necessary to make my life complete. Begs the question, how do you identify yourself? If someone comes up to you and says, "Hi, who are you?" What do you say? "Oh, I'm Kathy. I used to be a nurse."
I still am a nurse.
Oh, you are a nurse. Never mind. "I still am a nurse." Yes, you are. That's right. What do you say? "I'm Lori. I do graphics now at the Spiritual Center of the Desert." Whatever that is, that's just what you're doing. I want to know, who are you? I want to know how you identify yourself in the quiet, intimate moments of your mind. What are you telling yourself, Christine? Are you telling yourself how beautiful you are, how radiant you are, how vibrant you are, how successful you are, how everything is possible, everything is pure potential, and I get to choose what I want? I live in a mindset of Costco universality, and whatever I want, I am equal to. If you're not saying that or some form of that, then you are somehow not identifying yourself correctly. And here's the thing, your identity is what takes you into whatever life you decide to live. You know, it's not that inspiration is in short supply. It's that your mind might be in short demand. I'll let that sink. Inspiration is everywhere. Anything you could dream, if you dream it, you can have it. You can create it. That's the spiritual truth. So inspiration's not in short supply. What's in short supply is you knowing yourself. You don't know yourself deeply enough to demand exactly what it is you are equal to. Because the universe is only giving you what you're equal to. It's like you show up at Costco with your little membership card. You know that? Who has the executive membership card? I remember when Kevin said, "Let's get the executive." I was like, "Why? I don't even like it." He was like, "Because the executive card gets you in early and there aren't as many people." I was like, "Let's get the executive." So there's the executive card, and there's the regular card, and now, of course, I don't need any of it because I'm so old, I get to go early anyway, right? And I like that. Like people talk about, "God, you turned 65, isn't that scary?" I'm like, no, Medicare, Costco early. There's so many advantages, and I still look 40, so what do I care? Right? And so it is. But these memberships in your universal Costco, these memberships are your identity. And so you're being led in to this experiential world of everything based on the membership you've given yourself. So it's actually a very big question to ask you, what is your identity? How do you identify yourself? You know, we are in a science of mind can sometimes be misunderstood. It can seem like that philosophy where you get to go and learn how to get what you want. While that is true on many levels, what we don't sometimes really get across, the teachers of science of mind, is that the only reason you get what you want is because you are equal to it. That's it. You know, one of the things we talk about in CPR is deserving. I don't need to deserve this. I need to be equal to it. It's not about, are you deserving or not? How many times have you looked at someone who has amassed billions of dollars and you're like, how did that happen? They are so mean. They don't deserve this. Have you ever heard yourself think that about someone? Yeah. I'm not about to buy a Tesla because Kevin doesn't like what the guy's doing in life. I was like, but I think I want a Tesla. He goes, "You're not putting money in that man's pocket." I said, as if he cares what I'm putting in his pocket. But then someone else said, "But what about all the people he employs? You're supporting them." And I was like, I'll be getting that Tesla. So there you go. But the real question is, are you absolutely willing to be the consciousness of that which you are asking for? Before you make your demand, you must know who's making the demand. before you ask for what you want out of life, make sure you know who's doing the ask. And make sure you know the consciousness you're coming at it with. Because if you're coming at from a consciousness of need, of lack, of fear, of uncertainty, the universe isn't looking at you and saying, oh, Adair, you're such a nice person. I'm going to give it to you anyway. No, the universe is like, show me the money. And really saying, show me the consciousness. If you got the consciousness, I can give you exactly what you're asking for. So today, this month, as we go through this month of inspiration, I want you to start thinking of yourself as inspiration. Walk around as inspiration. Walk around as those little fiery things underneath all the stuff at Costco. And if you have to blow on it, blow on it. Whatever you got to do to ignite it, it's who you are. And if you're willing to go from that consciousness, sky's the limit. And then, back to Eric Williams, you don't have to have it all at once. You don't. You just have to know that that's who you are. And now, Reverend Gail, I can go wherever I want, do whatever is mine to do, knowing that if this tends to not be that important to me anymore, it's like, great, I did that. And now I'm doing this because I own it all. So I can do whatever my mind chooses to do. I can go into this universal Costco and say, I'll have that, I'll have that. I'm going to hold that off for a few years, but it'll be there because I know who I am. That's why remember who you are covers it all. So my final question to you is this. Which membership do you want at Costco? Because as soon as you answer that question, now you have to be equal to it so that they give it to you. Namaste.